and the will to win. The end result, the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Extreme Motorsports brings you the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, brought to you by Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment, and in part by TD's Tree Service. Live Mondays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to the Nurburgring for the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath and Alex Simpson here at this historic venue, one which Adam we've been to and we've enjoyed.
Twice in your case. Yeah, really enjoyed going to the Sim Expo last season, and just where it was conveniently placed enough so that we could enjoy a race meeting that was going on at the same time as well. And yeah, had a great time and great to look at the track. And you've been around the full Nordschleife as well, so you're probably as qualified as the person that's doing our track guide to tell you how the circuit goes.
Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. Well, it's actually one of my favourite circuits in terms of just one to lap around, and you know, the racing is good around here as well. And Alex, I think we're going to see a variety of strategies coming into play, and it's quite a technical track, this as well.
It is very technical. Every corner seems to lead into the next, and you know, it's very easy to overdrive some sections, thinking you're doing the you know, the right line there, you're checking your optimals and your deltas and stuff like that, but actually you're really hurting yourself in the next corner. So you know, it's definitely one of the most challenging. I know for myself, it really takes a while for me to get into the rhythm here, so I'm extracting the most time possible out of the circuit.
Yeah, and in order to see how exactly the circuit's tackled by these guys here today, well, we go to our track guide, and we're going to see exactly how that is.
Welcome, viewers, to Nurburgring GP course located here in Nurburgring, Germany. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this beautiful road course. This track comes in at 5.1 kilometers or just under 3.2 miles in length. This course was also originally opened in 1984 with its first major event being held in August of that year, the European Grand Prix, and was won by Alain Prost. Well, let's take you for a lap around this classic road course. This is a track that requires good car placement and fast exits to produce a fast lap around here. Heading down the front straightaway, pit area to the right, grandstands to the left. As we come down this fast entry into turn one, very hard braking zone. Got to get down into second gear here and lay on those brakes to get that car to drop right into that entry of turn one. Coming out of one, want to get a good rotation, track out wide for turn two here. This is a very large rotating apex. Down into three. Again, tight wrapping corner to the left. Get to throttle, lift, let the car rotate to center for four, and then up out of four, track out through five. Heading down the next short straightaway here, this will bring us into a fast left-hander, turn six. Back to throttle, off throttle, to the brakes, and down into a very fast rotating exit of turn seven. This will bring us down the next fast downhill straightaway to turn eight. A lot of overtaking opportunities here coming into eight. This is a late apexing corner. Let that car rotate to the center. Track out off exit, get some good speed to come up the hill to the Schumacher S's. Turns 9 and 10 here at Nurburgring GP. Wide open through this section. Another overtaking opportunity up here coming into turn 11. Kumo curve. Down into the gears, into third. Let the car rotate to the bottom, back to throttle, come up the hill, and get a wide entry and to turn 12. As we come out of 12, we are wide open once again, power down, up through the gears for this long, fast back stretch. It's got this slight kink of turn 13 in it to the right. Big overtaking opportunities coming up here into the chicane of 14 and 15. Hard on the brakes, down into second gear. Smooth rotation. Back out of 15. Back to throttle. Wide open up the final short shoot here into turn 16. Let that car rotate. Late apexing corner. Get that power down as soon as possible. That's going to bring us out onto the front straightaway and across the start-finish line. There's your lap at Nurburgring GP. Thank you for being with us.
looking at that track guide, there are several potential pitfalls that the drivers are going to have to deal with here. It's an hour-and-a-half race tonight, the endurance race. And Adam, are we expecting multiple pit stops tonight?
I'll tell you in a moment. I just thought we'd fill in the viewers on how last week went out. It was a pretty straightforward race at the Fontana Raceway, the Auto Club Speedway in America, and Zero Nom that got the win for the Mustangs, and in the Mazdas it was Rob Hartley. Unfortunately, weren't able to bring you that one due to some issues. But yeah, we'll fill you in on what the strategy is looking like for this one. I've got the crib sheet to hand that Kevin Ford kindly put out to us all. Mustang drivers, I'll be taking the 4 tyres on the first stop and may only take 2 of the final pit stop, so could be seeing a possibly a shorter final stint. And then with the fuel, you'll get about 16 to 17 laps in the Mustang. In the Mazda, you'll get about 17 to 18 laps. So we could be seeing, in terms of full fuel pit stops, them around a similar time. So it's going to be a bit of an action-packed few laps when that happen.
Definitely, and it's been an action-packed season so far out on the track. And looking at the championship standings, you can see that in the GS class, the Ford Mustangs, to you and me, Aero Nom leading the way by just 5 points over reigning champion Mike Dam. Kevin Ford's in 3rd, Clint Vargas in 4th, Stephen Thomas 5th, Russell Ruddock 6th, Pasquale Iannucci 7th, Leon Wright 8th, Michael Monaghan 9th, and Matthew Catila is in 10th. And looking at the ST class, it's a 30-point lead for Rob Hartley after his 3rd win of the season. John Allen, who's also got 3 wins, is in 2nd. Brian Holmes is the only other person to take a victory with his 1 win. He's 58 points behind. Travis Schwenke's in 4th. Zachary Rubin 5th. Joe Boyd 6th. Jim Liss in 7th. Jeff Jacobs 8th. Edgar Santinelli 9th. And Michael Key is in 10th. Adam, onto the starting grid then. And it's look how close that is at the front. Unbelievable.
We haven't got much time to run through it either. They are forming up, and we get about a third of a lap to run through it. So we'll get started. Aero Nom on pole position, 1,000th of a second between Nom and Dam. Dam, mighty close there. Those two, fine margins here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series as well. Half a second behind those two, it is Clint Vargas. He's getting better and better as he returns to form here in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. And Stephen Thomas in 4th, another half a second behind. And Pasquale Iannucci in 5th. 6th is Travis Davis. 7th is Brandon Whitworth. 8th, Jennifer McDonald. 9th, Matthew Catila. And 10th, Mike Monaghan. Russell Ruddock starting in 11th. 12th is Corey Wharton. And then Scott Brook in 13th. And then we've got quite a lot of Mazdas here today. Brian Holmes starting on pole position there. Travis Schwenke 2nd, Jim Liss starting in 3rd, Dave Payton in 4th, 5th Joe Boyd, 6th Jeff Jacobs, Geordie Fike starting in 7th, 8th John Allen, the winner of the Mazda class the last time we actually broadcasted one of these races, a good 2 weeks ago now. Then it is Zachary Rubin in 9th, Chris Torman 10th, Edgar Santinelli in 11th, Mike Taylor 12th, Patrick Prevenis in 13th, Michael Key 14th, and then Rob Hartley, the winner at Auto Club last week, starting at the very back in the class in 15th place. Don't know if there was a reason behind that or not. So he's going to be starting stone dead last for this one and is going to be providing us with plenty of action as Pasquale Iannucci, who was meant to be starting 5th on the grid, is going to be starting from the pit lane.
Could be a penalty, potentially. Alex, just a quick word from you as they go into the Vidal chicane on the pace lap. 1,000th of a second between Nom and Dam. Only 5 points separate them in the championship. This could be too close to call.
Yeah, this is the kind of championship we want, you know. It was quite close last season, you know, Ford really giving Mike a run for his money. But yeah, really tight at the top now.
Pace car's in. It's going to be interesting to see when Nom decides to put the hammer down. Because he does, because the car on the outside, Mike Dam, does have potentially more momentum to work with if he'd have gone earlier. So I think it's a smart decision to wait for the green flag. Nom's waiting as long as he dares. He does hit it now, but I think Dam actually got a better reaction time to the green. And he's drawing alongside Nom into the first corner. Very tight hairpin right here. and Nom manages to stay at the head of the field. Good move there by Clint Weiger to try and get up in this place. He might be able to go round the outside of Mike Dam, and he doesn't manage it, but into second place then is Dam, and here come the MX-5s at him.
We go then to get underway here. Brian Holmes already has the inside line going into the first corner. We'll see if Travis Venke wants to change that. He does. Straight away at the inside. Brian Holmes goes way too deep into the first corner. I hear contacts and can't see anyone spun around, but it is Brian Holmes that for now holds on to the lead. Travis Venke already trying to get the attacking going straight away here.
I think it was just some very minor contact in there. They jostling for position, the MX-5s. Jim Liss in third, fourth is Geordie Fike, and fifth is David Payton. See Payton back on form after... Oh, and there's a car around. It's Mike Taylor. Has been... I don't know if he's been turned or he's just spun off. Oh, he has been hit quite hard actually by number 29, Patrick Prevenas. And well, he couldn't prevent that accident, Alex.
No, he couldn't indeed.
That doesn't mean to go on.
Just as we get going as well, I just wanted to say how close we were to bringing these guys the new overlay tonight, but just nuts whisker. We've had a couple of bugs when I was just trying to set it right up here, but yeah. So hopefully next week we will we'll unravel the new overlay. We were trying to do it for the start of the new season. Here we are on week 8.
Now, quick question for you, Alex. Just based on the fact how close they were in qualifying, based on the endurance race that we've got today, will it change the mindset, do you think, of Nom and Dam in terms of how aggressive they are and how much they fight at the beginning of the races? It's a slowdown for Stephen Thomas, and that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, worst first lap, you know what they're like.
Whoa. I want to see these drivers getting stuck in, Alex. I know you can have the... I know that you can potentially waste a lot of time by fighting hard, especially at the early point of the race, but this is where, if you can get into the lead, you've got a chance of making some headway and trying to build a gap.
Yeah, it's an interesting one today. Obviously, 90-minute race. Pack back, so apologies for that. We'll try and get that updated for next week. But yeah, I just think it's all these things you find, don't you, when you spot these things. So, but yeah, I think they might have a little go, but I think they'll want to drop Clint before they, really start battling out. You know what Mike's like? He's very tactical. He'll wait, try and save as much fuel and everything. And Clint's going to try and hold on to these two as much as possible because they're already just absolutely streaking away from the rest of the field.
I think we've seen this season how tactical everybody in this series is. I think the most tactical of all is John Allen. 90-minute races this season, he's taken victories in both of them.
He's under pressure here, Adam, already from car 4. That's Joe Boyd. He's making some headway because he started. In fact, he started ahead of Allen, didn't he? And then he dropped down, and then he's back trying to make a move on him.
You also mentioned that the incident that you saw earlier between Taylor and Ravenus is under investigation by the stewards, so see if they decide to award a penalty, and just like that he has. So Patrick will have to serve some form of penalty. We know it's been black flags, but that could be as much as a drive-through penalty or a disqualification. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Probably a drive-through, I would imagine. I don't think it was anything major in terms of at least getting disqualified. I think that would be a little harsh, wouldn't it? But I've seen people get disqualified for less. 1 millimetre on the plank under the car, I've seen people get disqualified for, so who knows. Zachary Rubin is in the middle of this pack. You've got Allen, you've got Boyd, you've got Rubin himself, then you've got Jeff Jacobs, and it's a good pack of drivers this, Alex, but they need to try and be careful that this doesn't turn into basically a second pack or the midfield.
Well, yeah, it can do. I mean, we got that pack leaded by David Payton. He says 2 seconds now, so they're out of the draft. You know, they're already in a sort of a vulnerable position. I think to the top 3 could drop away, could pull away very, very quickly, which is kind of what we're getting in both classes right now as well. So they're not. I would say that they are battling each other pretty hard
This could
at the moment. Yeah,
quite interesting.
Oh,
Mistake from Allen.
both drivers there just sort of snapped, didn't they, going into that corner? It's easy to do there through the arena section.
John Allen very nearly losing the car, driving for Defined Auto Works, so definitely not very good.
And the Auto Works on himself will have been going there.
Well, at least it's not the Waterworks, but there might be time for that later.
Usually in the MX-5s, in the sprint races, we see that the gap at the front barely getting big at all. But yeah, this pack behind is really, really close. As Ruben and Alan now runs very wide, going through the hairpin.
Alan's all over the place on this lap, and here comes Hartley, actually, who's already made his way through from the back. And that's an easy one for Rob Hartley. Is he going to get a 2-for-1 special, Alex, into the what I think is the Warsteiner bed?
Looks like he is, so he'll take that. Just slicing through this field. Of course, he needs to get through very, very quickly. At the minute, he's still sort of got a shout with it being such a long race of getting back towards the front. We know how evenly matched these guys are as well. So, you know, 5-6 second deficit can be quite substantial.
By the way, crazy how at the start of the lap, Alex, Joe Boyd was fighting with John Allen for what was, I think it was 5th place in class, and now he's down to about 8th place. He's behind Hartley, he's behind Ruben now as well.
Yeah.
Problem for Jennifer McDonald. Something very wrong with the car. I think it was a slowdown penalty. I think that's what it looks like, and she's now had to hand 2 positions. She's now down to 10th place.
Jennifer was sat 13th in the championship, and she was doing well in the open category. I can't see those points, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, but the second in it, I think, at the start of after 3 or 4 rounds. Back up and running now behind Michael Monahan. Gap at the front is just a quarter of a second between Aeronom and Mike Dam. Team Bushwink Racing and Motorsports, isn't it?
Patrick Ravenus has been given a warning for not serving his penalty yet.
Well, I mean, it comes up on the screen with your name on it. So
this is the old Michael Schumacher tactic, isn't it?
With the old Shauna Lacey tactic of ignoring any communications coming from race control or from your own team, in fact. For those who don't know, by the way, at the 1997?
Are we talking about the British Grand Prix?
The Alesi running
97 Australia, yeah.
97 Australian Grand Prix. Jean Alesi was told to come in for fuel, and he repeatedly just either didn't see it or ignored the messages from Benetton, and ended up a very unhappy man. And as Murray Walker said, they were absolutely furious. Well, race control might be furious with Patrick Prevenas if he doesn't come in and take his penalty.
We'll wait and see about that. Well, that's a developing story.
I think he has now. He must have done, because he's 1 minute and 44 seconds behind.
Yeah, I think he has.
He must have had a penalty, surely.
Jennifer McDonald, by the way, you were asking whereabouts she was in the open category. She's second in. She's 22 points behind Booligan Racing's Mike Monaghan. But I think, is she ahead of him on track?
Well, no, just behind now. So it's a good battle for the open class lead, or at least the open class championship lead. I'm not sure. Is Corey Wharton in the main championship, or is he in the open?
He's in the open.
So
he's 13 points behind,
I believe.
Jennifer.
34 points.
33 points. Sorry.
shaping up to be a good race anyway. Alex, somebody to watch out for as well is Clint Vigas. Now he's sat in 3rd place at the moment. He qualified there as well, but it's not the first half of the race really where Vigas has come into his own in the past, at least. It's not been quite so good for him recently in the second half of the races, but this is where he used to really assert himself in the latter part of the proceedings.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's always looked at the long game, hasn't he? And this is why he's very good in these endurance races. So he's in a really strong position right now, tucked up behind the leaders. He is dropping back a little bit, so he needs to pull a few, really decent lap times to make sure he stays in that draft. So, but yeah, so far he's pulling away quite comfortably from TD behind him. So yeah, just I would think another sort of 10-15 minutes tucked up in the draft, and he's almost going to, unless given a mistake or something like that, a podium should be on here because he's so good in that second stint.
Do we think, Adam, that Dam's maybe not trying to make a move on Nom just so they can clear Vigas completely?
Be interesting to see. I think the only way we're going to find out is as the laps continue. They were very, very close, Dam and Nom, on that previous lap, going down the back straight. They're all touching as they went into the chicane. Vigas sits 4th in the championship. Kevin Ford not able to race this week again. So strong possibility that Vigas will be leaving this race meeting 3rd in the championship. So he wants to keep it on the track so he can get that 3rd place.
We'll be happy with that, I'm sure. Alex, is there a way of adapting your own driving or learning how to follow a car as closely as what Mighty Tam is to Aeronom? Because I'll be honest with you, I can't do that. I just simply can't. I really, really struggle if I'm, less than half a second behind another car. I feel like I'm almost too close.
That's a big old car as well, isn't it? So yeah.
Can't see very well when you're behind one of those.
No. Yeah. I guess it's just something you just get used to when you're in that car for so long. Just being able to drive that close, but. What that really does show is that Dan just has a really, really good knowledge of where the circuit is, and he's using all of his reference points from the side, so he knows, where he needs to brake and turning in and all that sort of stuff.
As bad as visibility as the F1 drivers have this season.
Which actually, you know what, is no worse than in a way. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of how the bloody thing looks, but it's no more invasive than, say, the cockpits of some touring cars or some open NASCAR, for instance, with those beams across the front of it sometimes. So we'll have to see how it goes. I guess we'll find out after the first race, which is in a few weeks' time. But yeah, here and that the Nurburgring are not on the calendar this year. It's Hockenheim instead. Alex will be pleased about that.
Yeah, love a bit of Hockenheim.
Very, very pleased indeed.
Nurburgring's last F1 race was 2013, back when we had V8 engines.
Now, speaking of V8 engines, we've got them here. And Adam, is Nom going to be... It's a tough situation for him, isn't it? Because he has to drive quickly, because he does not want to lose the lead. But at the same time, in the back of his mind, he kind of knows Dam isn't probably going to try anything. Which, I don't know, for me that would make it quite a difficult situation. I wouldn't really know whether to push as hard as I can or not really at this point.
It really is looking like a waiting game at the moment from Mike Dam. That being said, Aero Nom has been driving really, really quickly on the car's been almost out of control going through some of the corners as they start to lap some of the Mazda MX-5 traffic. I was just going to have a look and see. Yeah, they'll definitely be taking 4 tyres when it comes to the pit stops, and as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, maybe 2 as well. So we'll wait and see when it comes to it, because yeah, Aero Nom definitely putting a lot of punishment through those 4 tyres as they go through the left-hander into the second half of the lap.
Yeah, relatively cool out there on the circuit. 18 degrees is the air temperature, and it's 23 on the track itself. Alex, they're not going to be punishing the tyres too much, but Nom certainly is going to be using more of the tyre, I think, than Dam is at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. It does look like Dam's just sort of sat there quite comfortable, doesn't he? Not really pushing it too much and taking it a little bit easier through the corners and letting the draft do the work to keep him tucked up underneath the wing.
Question: is it worth Dam doing this? You know, the sitting behind business, because
absolutely. It will save an awful lot of fuel, and we know this car's quite slow with putting the fuel in, so you know it will pay dividends come the end of the race. I don't look like he was having shaping up for a move there.
But does it pay enough dividends to not try your hand out front? Because it seems like, because when Mike Dam's in the lead, we've seen in the past, I mean, a few races ago, he took the victory by over 20 seconds. And you just got the feeling that now Nom's very good as well, and they're very evenly matched indeed, but would you not want a couple of laps out there just to see if you can get rid of the guy behind?
You might be able to get that when if Aeronom comes in a lap earlier. Remember Schumacher always used to do that.
Yeah, but that's going to wait another 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, I see your point. You know, it would be worth having a little go. And I think he did shape up a little move there, but he got very close.
Because if he can get, sorry mate, sorry. If he could get, for instance, I'm not saying he would, because again, Nom qualified on pole. Nom's in theory the fastest driver out there today. But what if he spent 10 laps out there, and if he got 5-second lead? Then any fuel saving that he hasn't done, it wouldn't matter anyway. Do you know what I mean? So he's got that, and he's already saved more fuel than Nom has. I don't know. I'm just maybe not a fan of this kind of waiting game racing in terms of in some of the races. I think we've spoken about it before, but I think Schwenke's doing the same thing with Holmes now.
I think we can definitely.
Schwenke's going to try and make a move.
One thing we could definitely say is that we haven't told Mike Dam to deliberately stay behind Aeronom so that we have a race on our hands, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're not that influential, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the thing, and I know for a fact we'll get a good race, but, for me in an hour and a half endurance race, that would be the perfect time to chance your arm and give it 5 or 6 laps to see if you can make a gap, because you've got so much more of the race. If you even wanted, Alex, even if you did have a go at Nom, and if he made the move and if it worked, he could try for a few laps. If you can't make a gap, he could even
drop back. Yeah.
He could even drop back behind him again. It's one of those. It's like cycling, isn't it? You try for the breakaway. If you can't get it, then you might give up on it and you might try again later. I don't know.
Stephen Thomas and I think that was Corey Wharton were very close as they were heading in towards turn 1.
I hope I don't sound like I'm being too much of a downer on the proceedings, because on the face of it looks like a great race, but when we're seeing someone lifting off behind, and it's both categories this now, we've got the lead, we've got Nom and we've got Dam, and we've got Schwenke, and that's what they're both doing. They're both doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think we're kind of spoiled with people being aggressive and going for moves in some of the series that we cover, with there being sprint races, reverse grids, all that sort of stuff. So this is as close as they get to an endurance race, being the hour and a half, so even more so tactical for them than the 60-minute races. But no, I do see your point. I do think if Dam's got an opportunity to try and go for a move, but he probably should take it, and just to see if he can edge away. If he can't, then he knows he's in for a long slog.
Here he comes now. He's actually alongside Nom for the first time, and add him up into Vidal, he might have a chance.
Oh, Dam was very late on the brakes, but Aeronom just moving across just a little bit and made sure that Dam couldn't get that outside line round the chicane. Could have got it done then. That's the first bit of defensive driving that Aeronom's had to do to stop Mike Dam overtaking him.
I guess so, Adam. The first part of that chicane is so tight that it's difficult to go. It's very difficult to go 2 abreast through there.
Yeah, it's just. I think what Nom was doing was stopping Dam from getting around the outside so we can have the inside on for the second part of the chicane. Obviously, we're on the slower version of the chicane today. A few other series, they like to run the quicker layouts, and it does take away an overtaking opportunity, eventually.
Well, this is a much better way of doing it, I think. This is a better layout. It's one corner different, but it radically changes the track. Gives another opportunity to the drivers. I wonder now, actually, though, Alex, the other school of thought with Dam and Nom is that maybe Dam's saved enough fuel now. Maybe he's done what he needs to do to make his strategy work, and maybe now the rest of it's... Maybe he can push as hard as he wants for the rest of it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it might just be that he feels comfortable enough now that they've dropped Clint by 3.5 seconds, and now it's time to start pushing. He can have a little look here and there and have a little bound. It's not going to let Clint get back onto the draft. These guys know that the battle really on circuit is between those two. This championship, they've pushed each other to the absolute top limits of their ability. So. They broke away. Now it's go time for him, I think, maybe.
Although I would imagine that Nom's not, like I said, I don't think he's driving at 100% either. But yeah, it's just interesting to watch. It's a different kind of race. These races are won just as much with the head as they are with the hands and feet, Adam.
Well, we'll see what he can do this time then. Lap 10. Nom having to defend the inside line, moving across, almost a bit risky, but I'm sure the spotter would have been in his ear saying that he was clear. For now, he holds on again, but see, he runs out wide now, Aero Nom, and Dam has a little look going into the final corner. I believe it's still called the Coca-Cola curve, the final corner. Now onto the front straight they go again. Great run as well by Dam. He could get a good opportunity here into the first corner if he can try and get it done, but it's just a bit too far behind again. 2 tenths in the Mustang, that is a lot.
It's a good length straight though for these Mustangs to get up a bit of a head of steam. He is looking now every lap. I mean, the other thing you could say, Alex, is that if he just by poking his nose out in the braking areas, he might force a mistake, and then he won't have to overtake him.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I feel Nom is pretty used to sucking up this kind of pressure, to be fair, so it's going to take a lot, but yeah, in every car we've seen him in, MX-5s, and these, so good. So
this is why I feel like both guys are driving within themselves at the moment, and because Nom has been able to have a counter for everything that Mike Dam's been able to do this season, and he's been able to at least stick with him for the whole race when others haven't. Just quickly, someone who is getting on with it is Rob Hartley, because he has to, and this is the different dynamic now. It's he and David Payton who are chasing Schwenke and Holmes. The gap is 7.5 seconds though, so it's going to be interesting to see what the lap times are like this time round, Adam, as they come over the line to start lap 11.
Yeah, Hartley across the line now. See what he does. Last time I did 2:18.9, comes across the line now and does a 2:19.1. So only a few tenths of a second slower, but no guesses who the biggest mover in the field is. And yeah, it is Rob Hartley. Hartley, who has taken victories at Sebring, at Laguna Seca, and at Fontana last week. No wins in the 90-minute races, but I'm sure he'll be hoping to get one done here. And what better way to do it than starting at the very, very back of the grid. Not so many drivers can say they've done that in this series. See if we can get it done here. We've got 65 minutes to go.
I know we haven't properly even really mentioned it, but Alex, no Kevin Ford starting the race tonight. He was in the session, but no practice, no qualifying, no race.
Yeah, I guess he must just, he's the life of an admin. Who knows what's cropped up? So
could be a drop down for him, maybe.
Yeah. He's out of town for another week.
Ah, there we go.
But he will be in attendance for the event to watch and to conduct the drivers' meeting.
Oh, there we go. It's in the notes there.
Down round the outside. He's round the outside in the arena section. That is a long, long way round, though, to try and make this one work. And he nearly hits him. Oh, and I wonder if he did hit him there.
Very, very close there through the final part of the arena section, but I think they just got away with it. Might have to look back at that, actually. I think they might maybe just touched.
Oh yeah, they did. They definitely did hit each other.
Yes, they did. They did.
Well, I say hit each other. Damn, hit Aaron on. And but yeah, in the arena section, and we saw Mike Dam then Alex trying to force the issue a little bit. Didn't quite get that right. It's tough out there, but maybe he's just clearing off some of the rubbish and the marbles and things, so maybe he can have a better attempt next time.
Yeah, I mean, there's choice. He's had a little look in that sort of area, and yeah, maybe he's just sizing him up. I'm not really sure. You know, it's tough. We know it's hard to overtake there, don't we? So I'm surprised that he tried to go around the outside there. But of course, when an opportunity arises, you know, and your car kind of gets pushed into that position, then yeah, you've got to go for it. So,
because one of the main things that we were able to see was the ADAC Sim Racing Trophy, and that was on this very track, and it was quite difficult, wasn't it, for drivers to. A lot of drivers were having a look, but not a lot of them were making it stick in there.
Yeah, it's quite. I feel like it's quite easy to defend in that area of the circuit if you want, because you can run people off a little wide, and you know you can have the preferred line.
You can go wide yourself, and
yeah. Of course, you can give up the place very quickly as well if you make a mistake. Adam, what is it? Where do we need to be looking?
Sorry, Jeff Jacobs versus Chris Torman. They were hitting each other going through the first corner, but it's all settled down now, I think. Or you could do what they were doing in the Formula 3 race going on there. Going over there, and they're just crashing into each other.
Well, that was Daniel Tickton for you, wasn't it? And not a surprise. I think was the main thing I took away from that one.
Torman and Sanchez now going at it.
Now nobody here has been banned for intentional crashing.
Oh. Well, not everyone in this field anyway.
Well, nobody that we know of.
There you go. Chris Torman wouldn't be allowed in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. Edgar Santinelli's putting pressure on Chris Torman. And it's for the lower reaches of the
class, yeah.
Of the class, yeah. Sorry, I'll get that right in a second. Frito Sport Racing, of course, Edgar Santinelli, 9th overall in the Master Championship.
Battle starting to brew for. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, ignore me. I thought the Mazda that Travis Davis was lapping was a Mustang. That's what your eyes do to you at 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, Travis Davis on his own in 4th position. He's got a reasonably healthy advantage over Brandon Whitworth, who's on his own in 5th place.
Well, I think speaking of which, Alex, I think we need to go for our first commercial break of the evening.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV. Seen a quick look at some of the products from Ricmotech, and of course this series presented by TD's Tree Service as well. Adam, I believe there's some action out on the track that's worth a look.
Yeah, 3-car scrap going on here, just towards the back end of the Mustang class. However, it could have big implications in the open category. We've got Russell Ruddock here fighting away with Jennifer McDonald and Mike Monaghan, and of course those two at the top of the tree in the open category. So this is over 10th, 11th and 12th in class.
Yeah, Ruddock in 10th, McDonald 11th, Monaghan 12th. And I wonder if there's going to be any movement between these three before the pit stop phase.
Just gone through the Schumacher S's.
Oh, a bit wide for Ruddock.
Oh, and again, surely, Jennifer McDonald's giving him a very wide berth as they go down the straight, and it's almost inviting Monaghan to make it 3 wide there.
Well, if they make it 3 wide, then
just signed their own death warrant.
Potentially McDonald through then, and she's up into 10th position.
Overtaking the Mazdas, I believe. John Allen and Joe Boyd. Pretty close.
Hartley's got the gap down to Svenke to 6 seconds, or 7.5.
Oh my goodness me!
Oh.
Sorry. Look at the leaders. They are in a hell of a Mazda traffic light.
They're in the and a mistake from Joe Boyd, and that's actually got Zachary Rubin through. Boyd very late on the brakes, trying to come back. Not a lot of room through Dunlop for those sort of antics, but just about get away with it. And up the hill into the Schumacher S then.
I think that helps Dam a little bit. Not anymore though, because John Allen. Who is that? John Allen? I think it is. Yeah, it was.
The black car is John. Yeah. Don't know if it's black on my screen anyway. I don't know what it is. Otherwise,
black and green with me, I think. But yeah, paint pack. Hey, through the final part then of the second sector, and now into the final sector we go. And I think this has helped Mike Dam. I think this little run through the traffic has kept the gap just around 0.3 of a second. We're on lap 14 now, and according to the notes that we were given by Kevin Ford Mustangs will get about 16-17 laps on the tank, so see them in the pit stops in the not too distant future.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the pit stops. I know I keep saying it will be interesting to see. I've said that a few times tonight, but it will be, because we're never sure, are we, Alex, what's going to happen?
No.
We don't know if John Allen's going to try something crazy. We don't know how many tyres the guys are all going to go for, and whether they're going to short fuel, maybe for a longer final stint, something like that.
That's the one thing I do like about the 90-minute races, is that, you know, it is a bit mixed up, you know, and they do, you know, someone can do something in the first stop and another for the second, so it does sort of spice it up a little bit. And I feel like we'll get some separation from the leaders as well. They probably won't do it intentionally, but they'll go a slightly different direction on the strategy and then come back together again, so it'll be really interesting to see what their overall pace is like when both stops have happened.
And Boyd continues to harass car 7 Zachary Rubin. Sorry, there's a move actually, and that is Jacobs trying to go through on Boyd. I think he's just about going to be unsuccessful here, Adam. It's going to be close.
Yeah, it's Jacobs in 9th place in class, Boyd in 8th. The big beneficiary has been Zachary Rubin from that. Our 2 open leaders in the Mustangs have come into the pits, Jennifer McDonald and Mike Monaghan. It's going to be a race against time for both of those 2 to so who's going to come up in front, and it's going to be Jennifer McDonald, I believe. 22.2 second stop for her.
Oh, 3 wide nearly.
Oh yeah, this is amazing. Joe Boyd, Zachary Rubin.
In the middle of this.
That is Clint Vigus that's having to work his way through the independent.
He should be able to power up the back straight.
There he goes.
Clear everybody by the kink. Yeah, he has. And still side by side are Boyd.
There we go. Lead us. Nom, first one to jump in the pits.
Yeah. Well, I did say that that Mike Dam, it can now put the hammer down now that Nom is out the way, and Schumacher did it back in the day, and it works amazingly. See if this can work for Mike Dam now. He's got a clear road in front of him as he sets 2:13.
Yeah, it's got a bit of traffic though, about 3 seconds up the road, so he will catch them on this lap, Jody Fike and Jim List. But this is where Mike Dam, if he wants to win this race, I mean, it's not a race clinching a couple of laps, but it could definitely go some way towards it. He just needs to really push now and get the best out of these tyres, what's left of them.
Everybody is in. We've got Vigus in, Davis
Dam
in.
nearly loses it coming out of the arena section, and we've seen as the other leaders pitting. Alex, we see that so often. A driver follows another car for a certain period of time, and then they get out in front on their own and make a mistake because they're not sure, because the car feels different. It's not in the dirty air. There's no reference point for your braking, anything.
Well, it just changes everything, doesn't it? For the whole first stint, he's been used to just seeing that rear wing right in front of him, so all of a sudden he's able to use his normal braking points and things like that, and you have to adjust. Oh, and he's got that traffic now that we said really didn't want.
It's not the best place to get it. It's not the worst either. It's quite wide around the Schumacher S, Adam.
Going to try and get at the inside of car 65 here. That is Jim List. There he goes.
Wasn't too bad, actually.
Too bad at all. Pit stop time for Nom, 22.3 seconds. Has put him out back in second place on the road because everyone else, apart from Russell Ruddock, has pitted as well. So Dam and Russell Ruddock are the two drivers that have decided to stick it out for an extra lap. See if they stick it out for any extra laps.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get more out of it, Dam. I mean, he was fuel saving for a long time, giving it absolutely everything. He's in straight away, so it was one lap of fuel he managed to save. How important will that lap be?
Don't do a Kimi Raikkonen, he doesn't.
No.
He's in the pit lane.
Yeah, doesn't have the wet track to contend with, but definitely get the sentiments. You do not want to stack it or end up missing that. I think we've all done that maybe at least once. Now, where is Aeronom on the circuit?
Just coming up to the chicane.
Yeah.
Oh, we did the new overlay. We'd been able to bring up the little mini map and show this. Gutted.
Well, there is of course 4 races still to go in the championship, so hopefully we have it in by Virginia next week.
See then, where is Nom in relation to Dam? Is that Nom coming down the main straight?
It is.
It is, and he's going to beat Dam out of the pits. Dam does have the advantage of being able to accelerate straight out of his box and onto the track, but Nom comfortably gets there. Then that's 2 or 3 seconds he's got on him.
Stationary, they were very similar times. If I look at the pit stop counters, 22.3 for Dam versus 22.4 for Nom. So
it's the pit lane time that's the difference, Alex.
Yeah.
It was 45.9 for Nom in the pit lane. Overall for Dam it was a 46.4. So
is that Dam just going
getting
in
away slower, or
well,
I
he
think
went
maybe
into his box quite slowly. I will say
yeah,
that.
maybe the entry was a bit slow as well. Through the sort of the final section, and maybe the braking to the pit lane, not quite as efficient for Dam. And because
he did go
3 seconds, that's a lot.
Because he did go a little bit wide, didn't he, in the pit lane entry? But it wasn't 3 seconds worth. Maybe he's put more fuel in. It could be that Nom's put a bit less fuel in, maybe.
But that's what I mean. The stationary time, the stationary pit stop times, is 0.1 of a second difference. Hardly anything.
Sorry, yeah.
What difference in Mike Dam's favour as well.
Just
So
1 second. Sorry.
right then, it's a few laps time, and now we'll be turning our attention to the Mazdas. Everyone in the Mustangs has made their pit stop then, with just over 3/4 of an hour to go here. We're not too far away from the halfway point either. 4 minutes away from Being halfway through round 8 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series, Geordie Fike versus Jim List. As those two battle away, and it's because Jim List is coming to the pits. That's what's happened.
It has.
So Jim List, the first of the Mazda to come in.
Qualified third, did List.
Third on the list was
Ah,
List.
He was indeed. Now he's enlisting the help of his mechanics to try and get the fuel in. We'll be checking the tyres, make sure they're not blistered.
Oh, there we go.
I'll tell you what, if he loses a place in the pits, he's going to be ballistic.
Oh.
We're not going to start this, by the way. It's not going to be a thing. Sorry, Jim. He's probably probably watched his back, start swearing at the TV.
As you do.
You idiots, you know. Out he comes anyway, and comfortably ahead of Michael Key, who's the next man, I think, next man down the standing sheet.
It's better than getting sweared at by the commentators, isn't it?
Well, it is indeed. Gosh.
48 minutes to go then. Jim List is away, comes back out onto the track, and was in 18th position when he came into the pits. Just looking at the fuel, he's conforming to the fuel information that we were given. We were told by Kevin Ford that the Mazdas will get between 17 and 18 laps on the tank, and Jim List came in after lap 17. Guessing that must mean then, by the process of elimination, that everybody else is going to be coming in at the end of this one.
MX5 leaders are in, exactly. So Holmes and Schwenke into the pits. Sorry, we haven't really covered them as much as some people would like, but it honestly just doesn't look like there's been really any battling at all between the two. They've just been kind of running together.
Yeah, we'll pick that up towards the end of the race when it gets a bit exciting. I think that's the thing. They'll start going at it with about 5 or 6 laps to go, won't they?
Well, there'll certainly be a battle now coming out of the pits.
Yeah, you can see the tyres getting changed on Holmes, Schwenke, Hartley, all very close indeed.
I think this is going to be super close.
Right then, they pretty much all entered their boxes at exactly the same time as well.
They're getting ready to go. Schwenke
first.
Oh, look at that by a distance.
Oh, Holmes is getting held. He might have sped in the pit. He was only 6 seconds slower than Travis Schwenke. I don't know whether that's enough for a speeding on entry. So
fuel. It must be fuel, extra fuel.
It might not be enough for speeding.
He was getting service straight away. If you speed on the way in, the penalties initially, so they wouldn't have serviced the car. They wouldn't have jacked the car up. So that's definitely like a bit of extra fuel there.
Okay. Or maybe well, it wasn't extra tyres. They were all having the same amount of tyres. Yeah. So
take a 5th one on. I'll have a spare as well, please.
Yeah, we'll just have 3 at the back.
Put it in the trunk.
Just bolt an extra one on, see if you can go any faster. But I think
we're thinking Tyrrell here.
Could have lost maybe he could have lost the race for Holmes though. That error there in the pits or whatever it was anyway, whether it's an error or not, it might be the masterstroke of the race.
You know, Hartley had a 32.2 second stop as well, so did same as Holmes, or close to Holmes. So about a second difference between the two. Definitely seem to have a range. We've got Geordie Fike 22.8, Schwenke 25.6, a 24.1 for Peyton, and then some 30s. Zachary Rubin, Jim List. So definitely seems like an alternate strategy. You know, it's like right, take the extra fuel now and then short at the end, kind of thing.
Yeah, we have seen many drivers actually take less fuel and kind of labour through their second stint at them because they have to then save the fuel that they didn't elect to put in at the stops.
It's going to be all about who gets the best strategy, and yeah, we have seen drivers do that in the attempts to try and get a bit of track position. Of course, John Allen seems to be the king of doing those strategies in the last few races. Rob Hartley. I
don't think it works that well in the MX-5s though. For
no.
The sheer fact that the overtaking is easy. So.
Oh, Thomas v Davis. I think Stephen Thomas has got by, and now Whitworth is now trying to get past Travis Davis as well. good battle over 4th, 5th and 6th as Jeff Jacobs and Brian Holmes start battling each other as well. Loads of stuff kicking off on the track now.
Yeah, it is indeed. Whitworth, he's getting very close. He's got a nice toe, but he decides not to take it.
I say that they were battling Jacobs and Holmes. Jacobs was just coming into the pits. That's why the positions were changing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Jacobs quite a way. He was fairly close on the circuit, but now quite a way behind. Schwenke's just coming through the final part of the arena. Holmes is coming through the middle of it. Schwenke's last, the outlap was 3 minutes point 3. Holmes 3:07.6, so that illustrates just what Alex was talking about in terms of the pit stop times. 2:22.1 for Holmes on the in-lap. And on the in-lap for Schwenke was 2:22.2, so actually Schwenke's in-lap was slower, but the obviously pit stop time was much faster.
We could have a very interesting strategy on our hands here. Jeff Jacobs and Michael Key, who have just come in the Mazdas, they've managed to stretch the fuel far enough so that they can make it. That they can make it to the end. Basically, that is
okay.
If from my notes, if any driver can make it to 19 laps or onwards, then they can stop once.
Jeff Jacobs potentially can then.
Yes.
So I mean, yes. And what already? And so that means he's half a shot at this, hasn't he?
It's all going to be about how much time he can make up now as a result of these
Because of course, the others are going to come in for a splash and dash potentially, aren't they? So,
and if we look at it, the gap between Schwenke and Jacobs is 58 seconds, and it's about a 55-second pit lane time now.
Ah, right. So he's cooked then, isn't he? Really?
So a bit of a podium could be up for grabs.
God, they've gained that much time already. 50 seconds. Crazy. They have 20 laps. Shows with the pace of the front runners, though, Alex, doesn't it? The fact that they've gained that much time in not such a long time.
Yeah, absolutely flying. Yeah, and that's sort of in both classes as well. You know, I mean, Hartley is trying to reel them back in, getting there slowly. He's dropped paint in that.
Closer, but we're talking 1 or 2 tenths a lap at the most.
Yeah, paint, and he's dropped. But yeah, in the GS class, you know, Stephen Thomas is no slouch, and you know, he's quite a way behind Clint Vigus, and Vigus is quite a way behind Mike Dam.
Overtake on
Neither's Davies. He's not a slouch either. Sorry.
Overtake on this lap. Pasquale Iannucci at the inside of Maki Katila. That is Iannucci started from the pit lane. Let's not forget to 8th position now.
Originally qualified 5th. This is the first time I think we've seen him tonight on the broadcast, and yeah, going pretty well. 2:14.6. That's not the best lap time actually, but it's basically Dam and Nom just in a class of their own, isn't it? Because Vigus is lapping in the mid-14s, Thomas is high 14s, as is Davis and Whitworth, and then yeah, Iannucci mid-14s to high 14s. So yeah, it's just been how fast those guys are. I mean, even Vigus can barely keep up, and he's the next man really in line.
And if you're new to the series today, and you're wondering which 2 drivers have won all the races so far in the Mustangs, they're Mike Dam and Aero Nom, by the way.
I'm going to say it's not going to be that. It's not that difficult to kind of figure that one out. There has been Rob Hartley and John Allen have won all the races in the Mazda, apart from one, which was won by Brian Holmes.
Cota.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Nom with 3 wins and Dam with 4, and he's 5 points in front. Is Aeronom. One great stat so far, and I know Alex will appreciate this, as this is the sort of thing that he does. 21 incidents only in 7 races. Pretty impressive.
Yep, none too shabby.
Mike Dam, he's a clean driver out there, but 58 incidents. In fact, that's one of the highest in the entire league. It's only it's tied with Corey Wharton in the GS class. And actually, only Clint Vigus has more incidents with 81.
they need to come and talk to me, the BSRTC highest incidents per race.
Well, since
winner.
we're on incidents, then we might as well look at the Mazda. See that Rob Hartley's leading the championship, obviously by 30 points. Only 49 incidents for him. John Allen 75, Brian Hunt 82, Travis Schwenke 70. Zachary Rubin leads the way on 109 incident points, which actually in 7 races. They're long races. It's not an absolute disaster, but yeah, there's definitely been a couple of crashes in there. I think Joe Boyd 56 incidents. That's very good. Jim List 74, Jeff Jacobs 66, Edgar Sanchez 64. Michael Key is on 46. And Chris Torman actually is the safest driver of all those who competed in 7 races out of 7. And that's 25 incidents for him. And if you look at the Mustangs, for those who've competed in all the races, Michael Monaghan, only 13 incident points.
Michael Key driving for the No Clue Motorsports team. Looking pretty clued up.
Well, 10th in the championship for Key. Slightly better, I think, than last season. It's a veteran, though. I believe he's... Again, I'm not entirely 100% sure, but I believe he's nearly 70 years old, Michael Key. So, age and experience on his side, Alex, which at the moment is helping him to. I believe he has finished. All the races.
I'll have to take your word on the stat. I don't know, but yeah, typical of an older racer to get that consistency. That's
but you know,
that's how I drive, though, isn't it? You know,
something that me and Woody are still searching for, I reckon.
you know, we'll get that in however many years Alex is older than us by. We'll get that in how many years. But oh dear me, never mind. That's RIP our iRacing careers. Alex, in all seriousness, though, how great is it to go to see like veteran drivers, you know, out there doing this stuff and competing with everyone else?
I love the fact that they can still enjoy, you know, they can still enjoy their racing. It's awesome. Yeah,
and you know what I think as we get older, I think that a lot of drivers, a lot of professional drivers now will be using this as a platform post-retirement, you know, even after they've sort of left the top tier series and gone off to do whatever else they're doing. I think eventually we'll see a lot of ex-F1, ex-IndyCar, NASCAR people. Rubens is a great example for someone who's, you know, he does a lot less races than he used to do. He still does Brazilian stock cars, doesn't he, in his home country, but yeah, I think it would be great to see those guys, and potentially we'll see some of these guys when they're 50, 60, 70 years old, still giving it the big run out on the track. I think that'd be great, Adam.
Oh yeah, we still see it on the oval circuit, don't we? I don't know how old Terry Labonte is now, but
he was old enough when he was still competing, so I don't know.
I can't remember the name of the guy that used to be ancient. Ron Meadows, I think he was still doing still does a bit of stuff recently.
There was what in NASCAR? There was Morgan Shepherd.
Yeah, Morgan Shepherd.
Morgan Shepherd's still going into his 70s, I think. There was the other guy as well, wasn't there? Who qualified for the
Joe Nemechek.
No, not Joe Nemechek. Oh, Joe Nemechek's not that old. I think he's in his 50s. Is Joe Nemechek, but Morgan Shepherd is 76 years old. James Hilton, I believe his name is. Let me just check that. James Hilton. Yeah, he's 83 years old, and his last race in NASCAR was in 2011 at the age of 76. There you go. He raced a truck at Pocono at the age of 76. I mean, God bless him. Fair.
More window to get home now, so he's on his way to the finish from here.
Getting that done quite early then, Nom.
That's what I thought, you know, quite early. I looked at the time, I was thinking, geez, we haven't been for another ad break yet. You know, he's done both of his pit stops in this one window.
I'm just having a little look at the lap times, and It looks like the drive.
So maybe he's trying to build it up, but maybe there was some traffic, you know, a gaggle that we didn't quite see, and he thought, right, I'm not going through this. I'm going to get in now.
Just incidentally, Adam, just back on the topic of old NASCAR drivers, James Hilton's first race in NASCAR was in 1964. Like I say, his last one was in 2011. But,
God.
I know, Morgan Shepherd. His first race in NASCAR was in 1970.
Well, to put this into context, Chef Gordon was born in 1971 and he's now retired, so...
So he was born after he started, and I believe Morgan Shepherd's still going... Well, no, he retired in... Oh, no. Yep, he's run the Xfinity Series this season. So he started before Jeff Gordon was born, and he's still going after Jeff Gordon has been born, lived for over 40 years, won some titles, and retired.
Like, damn then, in.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
This could be it, you know. 14.4. Vegas is through and Nom goes through as well, but it is a little bit closer, I think, this time. So could be in for a bit of a finish. Actually, no, I lie. It's 3.4 seconds again.
Yeah.
Dan was closing it down. I saw before the pit stops that he had been closing it down, but yeah, it looks like the gap's back up again.
Incidentally, 37th, Morgan Shepherd finished at the age of 76 in Las Vegas just last week, I believe. I've been just today, in fact, was it? Vegas, NASCAR? It was Atlanta last week, wasn't it?
It was Vegas last week. Yesterday, sorry, Sunday.
Yeah, so Atlanta was good. Quite enjoyed that. Hopefully, the finish of this will be as good as it is in a lot of these NASCAR races. Then, do love a bit of NASCAR. It's a shame it's not on the. I know that people will probably say stop talking about NASCAR, but it's a shame it's not on like what you'd call an easily viewed channel in this country.
Yeah, Xfinity is a thing. It's on a channel that we don't get on Virgin, unfortunately, which is a cable provider in the UK for our American viewers. It's the Xfinity. Yeah, it's on a channel that for satellite people called Free Sports, which weirdly we don't get. So YouTube is for us too. Then.
Yeah, well, that's it. There is. I will say one thing that's very, very good is that in similar fashion to this series, if you miss the action live, if you can't see the race live, then you can always go back and watch it again. They have been putting the races up less than a week after they've happened, which I think is brilliant. Full race format with commentary as well. So that's great from NASCAR. I really like that because they realise, I guess, that they've got a lot of fans around the world that cannot easily see their races. So
the IndyCar channel as well.
To watch all the races.
That's pretty good too.
We've got to do a quick plug, Alex, while we're at it, for the new build, the new IndyCar, the 2018 IndyCar. It's coming.
It drops tonight, doesn't it?
It does drop on. No, it drops. Well, tonight, Tuesday night.
Technically, yeah.
Tuesday night. Tomorrow for the Americans, but and the LMP one, the Audi and the Porsche. What are you looking forward to driving the most out of those three cars, man?
The Audi. Huge Audi fan. Yeah, so
you won't have to shout over the top of that one as well.
No, that's it. I just whisper. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I mean, I'm going to enjoy driving the Porsche and the IndyCar. I mean, I can't wait for the Indy 500 in the new car. Hopefully, it levels a little bit of the playing field, so those Indy teams that bang out thousands of hours up till May, it's all gets thrown away. They're like, oh, you watch, they'd have been practicing for months already, and it's like, oh no, we've got a new car.
Because a lot of them, that might be the only race that they actually do.
So yeah, so that should be fun. I know enough of the tricks and whatnot in trying to build the setups for those. So I reckon we'll have a good shout in the Indy 500. To be honest.
I was going to say you've been in the top 5 in the Indy 500 before, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I mean, I won the official series, the Open official. So it's
just something that a lot of people actually don't know about you. Is that was your original? I think that was wasn't that your first series win in NASCAR? Was in the Open, was it?
Yeah, in the Indy, yeah,
together.
Correct. Yeah, so they did the road, and so they did a combined series, which I won, and then I just did the Open IndyCar Oval, which I also won. Sort of at the same time, but yeah, so that was technically my first ever win on iRacing in any championship. Official series. It just happened to be Indy Oval.
Does the Mazda MX-5 rookies not count?
I never won that. I got out of that series as quick as I could.
I think you did your 4 races or whatever it was. Got
that was it.
Your C license and buggered off and left, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was still doing circles trying to get the safety rating up.
Yeah, it took me forever, I think. But Alex, I'll tell you, the problem that I used to have was I just used to want to jump into races.
I think I had the same. Yeah. Right then, 28 minutes to go, less than half an hour. The pit stops are sort of filtering in now in the Mustangs. Vargas has stayed out, so he's our leader now. Aeronom in second. Dam is cutting the gap down. It was 3.4 seconds when he came out the pits. It's down to 2.5 now, so can't rule him out yet. We've just under half an hour to go. Then Brandon Whitworth in fourth, and it's Stephen Thomas in fifth. He's just come in for his second pit stop as well. And then TD Travis Davis sixth, Mike Monaghan seventh, Jonathan McDonald eighth. Those two pretty close at the moment. They're yet to come in for their second pit stops as well. Russell Ruddock in ninth, and 10th Iannucci. Charish Fenke continues to lead the way in the Mazdas. So before the Mazdas come in and get themselves set for their run to the finish, I believe we'll take another break here on Apex Racing TV, and we'll do the same.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Sports Car Series, sponsored by TD's Tree Service. And yeah, we're here at the Nurburgring GP layout. Yeah, it's been an intriguing race, Adam, and you get that feeling that yet again it's going to come to fruition right at the very end, I think.
Another one of those 90-minute races, isn't it, that's going to really intrigue us throughout the entirety, and then just guessing right to the very end. In terms of the 90-minute races this season, started off at Daytona. Mike Dam won in the Mustangs, and then it was John Allen that won it in the Mazdas. Say I'll be very surprised if John Allen gets it done today, but you never know. And then in the other 90-minute race at Twin Ring Motegi, familiar story here, Mike Dam took the victory in the Mustangs, and John Allen took the victory in the MX-5s. Mike Dam currently sits third at the moment here, with Vargas still to make a pit stop, and John Allen sits all the way down in 10th position in class. He has already made a second visit to the pit, so we'll wait and see where he emerges.
Just a quick one as well. Giuseppe Iannucci's been on the YouTube chat. I've only just gone on there, so apologies to Giuseppe for not seeing the messages earlier. But he was saying that just a few points is that Mike Dam is usually an animal, he says, on out and in laps. And and that's where he usually makes up a lot of his time. He says maybe it was the old tyres that cost him the time. But he's also saying that Nom played the right strategy, and I think, Alex, as we're going through the race, the more it seems that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, Mike's normally the one who just does, like, you know, he reminds me of, like, sort of the British, you know, cycling team that, you know, the marginal gains. I talked about that before. They really go after those little marginal gains.
Don't mention the British cycling team at the moment, Alex.
Well, okay, well,
those marginal gains might have been different things.
But
imagine, but
yeah, Nom really just absolutely nailing it tonight. You know, really pushing it to the limits. I mean, the fact that Dam was what 17, 18 seconds ahead of Vigus in third, just goes to show, you know, how quick he's going. But yeah, Nom just managing to find a couple of extra seconds. But I have to say, Dam closing that gap down again. It's only 1.8, 1.7 now. So it's not over with yet.
I think these are what the best people tend to do, aren't they? Really, is that they can just find those extra, even just half a tenth. You know, half a tenth a lap is, you know, nothing, isn't it? So something like that, 3 or 4 seconds, and that might be the difference. And there's less than that, obviously, between the two leaders here. Nom is doing a fantastic job, qualify on pole position, and to lead Mike Dam by 2 seconds. Clint Vigus is the outlier in all this, Adam, as well. 6.5 seconds clear at the moment. But in all sense of probability, he's going to probably have to stop again.
Reckon so.
Because he only got to lap 16 before he came in.
Russell Ruddock had a crash about a lap or so ago. Just on the exit of the arena section, he put the car in the wall just a tiny bit, and has got back going again. Yeah, that was just a little update on that. But wait to see what's going to be taking place in the Mazdas as we get to the end, because it is approaching crunch time for them. As you can see, some of the drivers that have decided to go for the one stop are starting to just slowly etch their way up the order here as we get towards the end of the race. Such drivers like Jim List, I believe. Oh no, he came in very early, didn't he? So we'll wait and see with him. But
this was kind of in that way, wasn't he? In that he was third, and then the only man who's really managed to overhaul him is Hartley, which I'm not surprised about, obviously, given how good Hartley is. Hartley's really closed in on Schwenke as well. He's only about 2.5 seconds behind.
Just looking at the notes again.
Schwenke been in the pits again?
Schwenke is yeah, he has. He's in second place in the Mazdas now. 15.8 seconds stop. Still in second.
I'd say it seemed like he was a long way behind Holmes. Holmes is out of the arena section already.
Yeah, Holmes hasn't pitted. Hartley's so close to getting the draft now. I mean, just a few more laps, you know, and he might get there too on Travis. But it's just what Holmes is going to do in this pit stop that's going to be so critical.
You can see, Alex, if you go, see the hands sawing away at the wheel for Schwenke. He's really it's a real handful in there. So maybe saying that the tyres are maybe less than ideal at this point.
Yeah, possibly. But I think when you drive this car on the very limit, you have to work it. You know as well as me when we did the commentators race. You know, it is quite lively on the limit. You know, you can lose it quite easy. So, and this is a tricky old track where, like we said earlier on, everything leads into everything else, and lots of cambers and curbs that are playing. To say, I've just jumped on with Travis, and this has probably been one of the smoothest, you know, little displays that I've seen for a little while. So that's just typical.
Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of what the drivers are having to try to be smooth with the old tyres. I need to nip out for just 1 minute. I'll be back in a second.
will hold the fort from here.
Mike Dam, 0.4 of a second behind, so we're on.
Wow.
20 minutes to go.
How that has closed up then, folks. 20 minutes to go, or 19 minutes to go now. And it is on for the win. Zabel. Clint Vargas yet to come in for his second visit to the pits, so I'm almost certain he's got to, Alex, hasn't he?
He's got to go for it, isn't he? I mean, surely he's not trying to do that. I mean, is he dropped back? Is that what his strategy was? I don't know.
Well, the gap is 3.5 seconds between Clint Vargas and Aero Nom, and from memory,
such a long way to go. I mean, I'm pretty sure they put the limits. When did he pit? Can you check when he pitted?
Pitted 15 laps ago. He pitted on our leader, Clint Vargas, pitted on lap lap 16. Lap 16 in the race. Now on lap 32, so that's double.
Yeah, and okay. Yeah, so I would expect him to be in soon. Can't see he's going to make it. I'd love to big it up and go on, but I think he's going to be in there. He is.
That was just simple maths, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Double 16, 32, and into the pits comes Clint Vargas with 17 minutes to go.
But yeah, it should bring him back out and in around Travis, I think.
Whitworth, who's also had to come in for his second visit to the pits, then Stephen Thomas in 5th and TD in 6th. It is still, I'll tell you quickly, the Mazda drivers that are yet to make a second pit stop, and some of those could be going all the way to the end. Brian Holmes still hasn't come in for his second stop. Also not coming in, Zachary Rubin. He's only been on his stint for 12 laps. Jeff Jacobs has only been on his stint for 11. He was one of the drivers that we have put as one that could go to the end. Jim List has come in for a second visit to the pits now, but Chris Torman also hasn't come in either, along with Michael Key. So a few drivers in the Mazdas going to risk it, and a few are still yet to come in.
I think everybody's going to end up with 2. I'm pretty sure they just cap the fuel, don't they, in the series, so that it forces everybody in for 2. It would be nice to see if it's like you can do it. It's so marginal just to see get that one little surprise race where they stay out.
It's great because in the notes, Kevin Ford has put basically, and I quote in the note that he sent, big fuel strategy event. This does. So I hope that so they know that this is going to open up the strategy. Obviously, it has in terms of the laps that the drivers have had to come in. And I wonder if someone might just have been able to pull a master stroke and get it done. But I think Brian Holmes will be coming in a few moments. And yeah, for the Mazdas, for the most part anyway, it is going to be a two-stop race. But I will pat whoever can do it on the back on one stop.
I mean, we've seen drivers, Alex, in the past. I mean, we've talked about it before on the channel. Chris Lucky in the V8 Supercar race at Okayama that we covered, where everybody said it was impossible to do no stops.
Yep.
Everybody said it was absolutely impossible. And not only did he do no stops and make it possible, he won the race.
Yeah.
By less than 1/10 of a second. It was that close. But on 0 stops, no fuel, old tyres, he somehow managed to take the win. But yeah, we've never seen anything like it since. But you know, I don't think anyone's going to pull that kind of masterstroke out tonight. But it was definitely a good effort by a few of them anyway.
Yeah, phenomenal race that was, actually. Still one of the highlights of sort of our commentary career, calling that.
Oh yeah, it was very, very good indeed. We do have the footage somewhere. I do have it on YouTube. So our very own James Nash who put that together. Now, Holmes versus Hartley. Hartley's ahead. fact, it's all coming together because Svenke's right there in front of them all. So Svenke leads the way.
Yeah, we missed him coming in, so he just comes out. And that was his long stop, wasn't it, Travis? He did that long stop initially, so he had quite a short one now. Oh no, sorry, it was Holmes, wasn't it, who went really long. He had a 9.5 second stop. He comes out just behind Hartley, so... Well, they've all come back together. This is a phenomenal drive from Hartley, I have to say.
Got to give an absolute, I was going to say, absolute pat on the back to him, because
there's another good battle going on in this class as well, and that is between Zachary Rubin and George Fike. Side by side, going through turn one. They were. Fike through.
Geordie Fike then up into 5th position in class. Rubin in 6th. Let's forget that Rubin's doing pretty well in the open category in the Mazda MX-5s. One of the big movers actually, 5 positions gained. As we said earlier on in the broadcast, no surprises for who the biggest mover in the field is, and that is Rob Hartley, who started last, up to 2nd in class, 15th place overall, 15 positions gained, and it's just starting to get a little bit close to the very, very front again between Aero Nom and Mike Dam. Gap down to 0.3 of a second. With 12 minutes to go.
Again, it's going to be one of these finishes in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. I'll tell you what, it's been great to see a midfield battle in the Mazdas as well coming to fruition. In List versus Rubin, they were side by side for a moment, but Rubin still staying ahead. Here comes List though, wheel to wheel with him. How late on the brakes can he be? The answer is quite late, but Rubin still runs around the outside with the greater momentum. Big momentum car this, Alex, as he gets pushed onto the grass and they make a bit of contact door to door. It's all into the Vidal S now, mate.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, you know. One of the few cars where you really can sort of draft and overtake just about every circuit, even the shorter ones.
And look in the background. Look what's behind this battle. This little gaggle for
just what you want.
The little gaggle of 5th, 6th and 7th in the MX-5s. You've got the 2 leading Mustangs. Aero Nom over Mike Dam. It was half a second, Adam. Certainly isn't now. It's a quarter.
Come down by half then, hasn't it? And so we go down the front straight, all those Mazdas on the outside, the Mustangs fire up the inside here with 10 minutes to go. It's a 2 minute and a few seconds lap, so we're not going to have too many more tours of this circuit before we decide our winner. Coming up to lap, Jim List and Geordie Fike, and these two are battling away over a position. So they're the least of their worries is having to worry about these Mustangs coming through. So this could get interesting. Probably one of the narrowest parts of the circuit as well. Through they go. They've managed to get past one.
Might have just given Nom the breathing room that he needs. At least for now, that's a second, you see. And we've seen that Dam's not necessarily the best in the traffic, Alex, before, fairly or not. And there's a bit of contact at the hairpin. Dunlop curve.
Yeah, he got hit there, didn't he?
That's Geordie Fike, and I didn't really know what Fike was doing at that occasion. Now he's trying to stay ahead of Jim List. But that was not Jim List, that was the race leader. And they're side by side the Schumacher race now.
Yeah, List lost. He's going to lose the place, isn't he? If he's not careful here. He's to be late on the brakes, and List goes through, so he's better off it.
An incident involving cars 16 and 8 is under review.
So that is
Pasquale and Ucci.
Well, again,
a collision, have they? Yeah, because Svenke was in the lead of the...
Yes, he was in the lead. Oh, and they're actually side by side for the lead now in the class.
Yeah, between Brian Holmes and Hartley. Hartley, who started last in class, last overall, is about to take the lead in the Mazda class.
Oh, it's a great battle this through the arena section. And Hartley has really fought hard to overcome the adversity thrown at him.
Settled itself down. I'm going to try and see what happened. It was actually a slowdown penalty for Travis on the chicane.
Iannucci's received the black flag, so what's happened? What did Iannucci do?
I don't really know.
I'll have to rewind for you.
Was it after the slowdown? Was it whilst Frankie was serving his slowdown?
No, he was already ahead on the slowdown penalty. It must have been before.
He's received a black flag as Iannucci, so there must be some kind of reason for that to go down. I didn't see it, I must admit. By the way, Dam's malaise in the traffic has allowed Nom to get a big advantage, and Dam's struggling now. He's really suffering out there, and it's a good 2 or 3. It's a good 3 seconds that Nom's got now.
Yeah,
Nom's going to take the win here, I'm sure.
He clattered into him, into the first corner. Missed the breaking point. Pasquale Iannucci just absolutely took out Travis Schwenke.
And that's what got Travis back into the clutches, I guess, of those two.
Is this just a case?
Oh, God, yeah, you're right. 3 seconds.
Is it just a case at the very front of Dam giving all he can, and that's it? That's all that's left of the car?
Could be. I think it's just a mistake on Dan's part. He had a big slide earlier on, a couple of laps dealing with a back marker as well.
Another black flag being dished out. Corey Wharton this time is the one who's fallen foul of the race officials. He's in 9th place.
Well, that's not the first time Corey Wharton's been given a black flag either today.
McDonald past Monaghan. That's for
side by side for the lead.
Yeah. Here comes Hartley versus Holmes down the front straight. 5 minutes to go.
Useful toe off of Michael Key for Brian Holmes. Diving into the hairpin. What's going to happen? It's going to be really close. Travis Schwenke still is in touching distance. A couple of seconds behind.
Corey Wharton, by the way, has made 4 visits to the pits. Well, this is his 4th visit to the pits now.
Jesus. Okay. Well, no wonder he's down in. Well, he's going to be 11th, I think, at least after this most recent one. Leaders now have to contend with Mike Taylor, who's recovered decently from. He's 2 laps down. He's ahead of a couple of drivers. He was hit by Prevenas, of course, if you recall earlier on. Into the Dunlop curve again. Sorry, Adam.
Where's that on my mouth? Yeah.
It's a good corner Dunlop curve because it's quite challenging. And there are a couple of different ways of attempting it.
Any corner with a decent amount of camber is good in my books. Well, a bit of banking.
You've got those people who charge in there, get the car rotated and sort of fight the car on the way out, and you've got people who, you know, they'll be quite slow in and diamond the corner off and fast out. Alex, what's your technique at that corner as the leaders go head to head again?
Yeah, to be honest, I diamond it off. I think that seems to work best for me. Some cars it's better just to run it nice and tight, but yeah, for the most part I always find just going a little bit hot.
On the outside.
Diamond it works.
Hartley.
How did he make that?
Well, he's barely made it. He carried a lot of speed in. Holmes is going to have half a shot into Coca-Cola. He might just take it. I would have taken that. He left the door wide open.
Well, he might still, you know. There
he
goes.
It, Brian. He's going to leave it open. Just do it. Back into the lead goes Brian Holmes. So there was 2 lead changes on that lap. It's a good battle. It is a good battle. Travis Schwenke's going to be in this battle any moment now as well. What's the official time left, please, anybody?
4.5 minutes.
Okay, so they'll probably get 3 in. It's going to be good. It's going to be very, very good. Slow burner, of course.
As always happens in this series. We were talking about it earlier on when we were like, yeah, go on, fight now. Let's have your battling for all 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's sort of, you know, I liken this series more to a NASCAR race in that the meat of the event comes at the very end. All the time, you know, that's the bit you need don't get me wrong, they're great races anyway, but you need to be watching the end of these races because it's unlike anything else, and it seems to happen without fail, Adam. Pretty much every week we seem to get one of these finishes in one of the classes at least.
Yeah, if it's not in the Mustangs, it is in the Mazdas, so...
It's going to be one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think right now the gap between Aeronol and Mike Dam's 3.7 seconds, so I think it's going to be this that's going to be fighting for the action, and you're right about Travis Schwenke. Look how close he is now.
Oh, this is going to be close to hitting each other. Hartley was super close to Holmes. I mean, if you make contact in the Schumacher S like that, Alex, then that's game over.
Usually. So, yeah, great car control just to avoid anything major there.
I'm not entirely sure whether they hit each other or not. It was quite hard to tell.
I'm not being bad to Holmes and Travis here, but Hartley needs to win this race.
What a drive it would be.
Just exactly that, just for the story. I know
and what a drive is already.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's here fighting.
Absolutely bloody nailed it.
Do that on the final lap, Rob, and you're in.
Now he's up the inside, he's in already. He's into the lead, Adam.
Or is he in too deep? Metaphorically and literally that. Through the final corner he goes, he's in the lead. And Travis Schwenke now wants to follow him through for second place here as we go across the line.
Holmes had the momentum of running at the outside line. Schwenke's got the slipstream. He could have gone up the inside there, I think, actually. I'm not usually an advocate of going 3 wide, but I think there he could have done it.
Very, very wide entry into the first corner. Brian Holmes, though, back up the inside into the second part of the arena section. So it showed that move up the inside into the final corner didn't really help because as we started another lap, Holmes was able to get the advantage back again.
Oh, and it's swapping and changing now. And Hartley needs to be careful because Schwenke's there. And that's why he can't really be too creative with his lines, Alex, can he? Because Schwenke's going to be in like a shot if he is.
Yeah, exactly. Needs to, when he goes through, he needs to be really decisive, when he does it, so that he goes straight through and it's not a failed attempt that leaves the door open. Holmes very, very wide, wasn't he, on the exit, trying to get on the power early.
Massively wide. Into Dunlop. Now we'll see the different lines, Adam, that we were talking about just a few minutes ago.
There goes
Schwenke right on the curb. More traditional line by Hartley, but it's Holmes that gets the run. And Holmes takes the lead back and into the Schumacher S then. Hartley should have a better run through here. The corner named after the great 7 times world champion.
Doesn't help that they've got a Mustang bearing down on them as well, going into the left hand here.
I think that'll be okay. Come the back straight, you would think. Brilliant car control by Schwenke. He was all over the place, sideways, going through there.
When they get to the line, they'll be starting the final lap of the race.
Now, the Mustang is Katila. He's going to get one. Should get them all. Oh, he doesn't get any. Doesn't trying to get any.
Yeah, in the end he breaks out of it, doesn't he? I think he just needs to leave them to them. He's not under threat from behind. This is for first, second and third in the class. Let him race.
Yeah, he's 12 seconds behind Iannucci. He's 14 seconds behind Iannucci. He's 20 seconds ahead of McDonald. So I think it's a good decision. Just a couple of laps to go then. Maybe just the last one.
Pasquale Iannucci's out of fuel, I guess. He's into the pits for a third time. The clock has reached 0. This will be the final lap of the race.
And Aeronom's going to come around the final corner. Adam, and he's going to take the victory. Brilliant through the Coca-Cola curve. Then comes Aeronom, pole position. He's led pretty much every lap of the race, only barring a couple. And Aeronom takes the win. With all due respect to him, though, it's
3 wins in a row.
The entertainment and the clash out there on the circuit, Alex, now is between these 3 drivers in these little roadsters.
Yeah, that's it. Hartley through the arena, gets a good run out. Holmes in driving seat right now. Not going to be easy. They're still perhaps worried a little bit about this Mustang, but I think Kadila's made his everything very clear as to what he's going to do.
It's typical, isn't it, Adam? We have an hour and a half race, and suddenly now it's the final lap. We don't want it to end. We want it to carry on.
It is true. It happens every week. All into the Dunlop curve we go then, and Hartley having a little look on Holmes. They run very wide on the exit of the curve, all 3 of them.
Yeah, they all misjudged that. They tried to get on the power super early. That's what happened. Oh, look how the bumps unsettled the car through the Schumacher S. Holmes then, on the inside. Outside for Hartley. Schwenke is in there. Just behind.
Oh, pokes his nose up the inside there. It's not going to help his run off this corner.
Schwenke's
Holmes give him the room.
Schwenke's got an outstanding run, Alex. He's really in the box seat now. If he doesn't get boxed in. Oh! Pushing him nearly.
Oh, who's this? It's Iannucci.
Oh!
This
Iannucci and Catila.
That's an actual position as well.
That's for position in the Mustang category. Hartley's made a mistake. He's going to have to cover the inside. Holmes is going to take the win. Schwenke's trying around the outside. Trying to rob Hartley of what would be his second place, but it's Brian Holmes that takes the win. Oh!
Second for Schwenke as well. Third for Hartley in class, and yeah, Pasquale Iannucci came in for that splash and dash with a lap to go, and Matthew Catila, who was just sitting back with the popcorn, gets
all of a sudden gets a surprise overtake, doesn't he?
He's had his movie well and truly ruined, doesn't he? We're getting the Oscar for that one, I'm afraid.
Great drive from Hartley, though. Great drive.
Insert Jinx eating popcorn gif here.
Well, that's the thing. We need to be able to post gifs on the channel. Probably somebody will probably sue us for that, as normal. Adam, if you could take us through the finishing order then, as this thrilling race comes to a climax.
Okay, so Aero Nom makes it 3 wins in a row. Mike Dam managed to do that earlier in the season, and Aero Nom's been able to replicate it. 3 wins for him then. 4 in total for the season. Second for Mike Dam then, third for Clint Vigus, fourth for Stephen Thomas, fifth for Brandon Whitworth, sixth for TD Travis Davis, seventh for Pasquale Iannucci, who was able to get that position from Matthew Catila on the final lap of the race, ninth for Jennifer McDonald, and 10th for Mike Monaghan. Some useful points gained there by Jennifer McDonald, finishing ahead of the open category leader. Also Roddick finishing in 11th, 12th Scott Brooks, 13th Corey Wharton, with the 4 visits to pits, then 14th and P1 in the Mazdas, Brian Holmes the winner, second Travis Schwenke, third for Rob Hartley, who could have got the lead of the race about a lap shorter, Dave Payton in 4th, 5th Jim List, 6th Geordie Fike, 7th Jeff Jacobs, 8th for John Allen. Maybe he did try a strategy and it just didn't work, or maybe he just didn't click with this circuit. Something was up today, I should say. 9th was Joe Boyd, 10th Zachary Rubin, 11th for Chris Torman, 12th Edgar Sanchinelli, 13th for Mike Taylor, Mike Key in 14th, and then 15th for Patrick Provenus. And then that was it. Everyone else didn't take the start, so they were just serving as the admins and some very interested spectators in this one. And the next race meeting in the Ricmotech Sportscar Series will be at Virginia International Raceway. So from Grey Day racetrack here at the Nurburgring to a track with an oak tree right in the middle. That will be interesting to watch as the Ricmotech Sportscar Series heads back to America.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch at Virginia, isn't it? We always get good racing, and I feel like after seeing that, Alex, I'm kind of excited for Virginia.
I think it'll be another good race, Virginia. Some big old long straights, so plenty of overtaking there.
Oh, the MX-5s will love it. The Mustangs might love it too, because there's actually enough of a straight to maybe get a move done. So we'll see if we can do that. Interviews, so we're not able to, are we?
Well, no, we're on Discord, unfortunately, because of the issues. So we'll definitely try and get your TeamSpeak sorted out this week, though, so we can get back onto the proper TeamSpeak and do them next week.
All right then, guys. Well, tell you what, we're going to bid a very fond farewell because it is 3:10 in the morning in the UK. See service, and we will see you at the next one. Good night.